There you go. Okay, it being the hour of 11 o'clock, I call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone here today. Committee of Adjustment for September 13, 2023 will now come to order. The notice to all those in attendance, this meeting will be live streamed on YouTube and recorded. Please note the recording will be linked to the municipal website following the meeting. Our committee today consists of Councillor Barry Boyce and Chris Bishop. And our Director of Planning is here, Jeffrey Isles. And he's got his assistant here too. So. Is that right? Good boy. So this is a public hearing to hear consider two applications for a minor variance to municipality zoning bylaw. It's this committee's responsibility to consider all information received to date regarding the requested variances and to hear and consider any comments or questions provided by these applications. Any variances granted by the committee must meet four tests, which are very clearly defined in the Planning Act. Requested variance must be minor in nature, desirable for property development of the land, comply with the general intent of the official plan, and comply with the general intent of the zoning bylaw. Please note that if anyone wishes to be notified of the decision, please make a request in writing to the municipality. Does any committee have wish to declare any conflict of interest with either one of these applications? No. The answer being no. Any oral or written submissions received in advance of the meeting will be verbally read aloud at the time the application is considered. All persons who are pre-registered will have an opportunity to present or ask questions about proposals. Please direct all your questions and comments to the chair. Each registered person will have up to 5 minutes to provide comments or ask questions. Once finished speaking, the meeting host will mute your microphone. Please state your name and relation to the application prior to speaking. And I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Don Popple and your chairman today. First application on the agenda is the Berwick application. Before we deal with that, we have to have a mover and a seconder to resolve that the minutes of the meeting of Committee of Adjustment of August 9th be adopted. Had a mover? Chris? Barry? It's moved, seconded, and carried.
I think I'm there. Good morning, all. Thank you very much for taking this call by Zoom.
This Mr. Burke.
Can you hear me?
The first application we're going to deal with is a request for section 3.1 on the lands of Berwick, 2631 Cashagwigwag Road, Township of Dysart. It's a request to permit a maximum gross area of a private cabin to be 54.99 square meters or 592 square feet, which exceeds the permitted maximum gross floor area of 45 square meters or 484 square feet. So someone wanted to start off the program. We have Mr. Parrish with us today. Could you indicate what your attendance is so greatly appreciated by us here today, Mr. Parrish?
Yes, I'm here helping Rick with this application. Unfortunately, he's in Ireland, but I see him, he's here live and well.
He made her.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just here to hear what the comments are and whether I can answer some questions to the comments that the staff would have or the committee would have.
Okay.
Well, and would Mr. Berwick want to tell us what he's doing? Is that normally tell us give us your story.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, tell us what your plans are here. That's normally what we do is you tell us what it is you're looking for.
I've had our cottage up on Drag Lake for 23 years. I had 5 bedrooms there. I have 10 people in our immediate family, our 2 sons, 4 grandchildren. When we bought this wonderful place on cash with the flat land, it only is a 3-bedroom bungalow. It's great. Serves my wife and I. We're planning on retiring up there hopefully within the next 5 years. But I wanted to build a bunkie with 2 bedrooms, a sitting area, so that we can utilize that when our whole family gets together, the 10 of us. You can imagine 10 people in a 3-bedroom. My grandkids are wonderful grandkids, but they're very loud. And that's exactly what I was looking for. When we bought the property, we were under the impression the bunkie there could be done. So then we found out after, so whatever rules you wish me to follow, I will have no problems.
Fair enough. We have some questions on this particular situation.
I guess.
The existing bunkie that was there is now gone.
Yeah.
There was a request from the town because it was long outdated. It's already, we got a demolish permit. It's already gone.
So it's removed? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's removed, yes.
It's been removed?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're looking for, again, a couple of questions and just out of, a lot of people have a bunkie, that's a problem, not a problem. The official plan is it can be 484 square feet and you're looking for a little more than 100 square feet over that. One of the considerations, and I'm sure you thought of this, so I'm not trying to be a smart ass or anything. Did you want a separate bunkie? Did you ever consider adding on to the existing cottage? And then you could make it as big as you wanted to.
We really did, but to be honest, I don't really mind having the teenagers in a separate area, little area where they can kind of enjoy themselves without adding on to that. To be honest, I think it would be the best way for the family. And the same thing as when we have friends there. You know, we have 3 or 4 couples coming. Somebody can have a whole space to themselves.
Gotcha. And I guess so. One of the Lake Ashagawigamog is a lake trout lake, and it has that capacity for accommodations. And you're looking for an approximately 20% increase over what the normal allowable square footage is. You know,
It was just, if we're gonna put 4 people there for when we have a week's holidays where everybody comes up and whatever, it just gives that much more room, sitting area, 2 bedrooms, kind of a kitchenette type thing, no stove or anything like that, shower. It just makes it more comfortable for 4 people to be able to exist for nighttime and everything else.
Okay. I guess one of my concerns is, I think we could, my opinion is that we could allow you a little bigger than the existing 484 square feet, say to 550. Now you maybe say we're splitting hairs because I really want to go to 590, but the next person, if we granted that, the next person is going to come along and say, well, I'm only 5% more than what you granted the last guy. And where does it all end? That's kind of my consideration. And the 484 square feet is what is allowed. And in my opinion is that we could allow you to go to nice even number of 550. That is my thoughts.
When we purchased the place, it was a misunderstanding between all parties. There was a bunkie there about 650 square feet. And we were on the opinion with both Linda, John, the lawyers, everything, that we were going to be able to respond to that. I fully understood after the laws changed or whatever, and there was some issues that were dropped. That's why, and like we originally wanted 650 and we downsized it, which I thought was 592 was going to be an acceptable number. And that's what we were asking for here. We kind of laid it out with, beds so that we could sleep 4 to 5 people there if the kids bring friends with them and that kind of stuff. So I would really like the 590, but the ball is in your park. I will try to adhere to everything that will work for the committee.
Is there another shed on the property as well, sir?
Sorry?
Is there another shed on the property as well?
No, there was a shed, but that was demolished at the same time because we got a permit to build a garage and a small workshop off the side of it.
Okay.
Shane Sisson's doing all that work for us presently.
Fine young man.
You're very generous. I'll let them know. Yeah, no, I've known Shane for over 20 years. So when we were able to acquire the property, I called and said, come on over. So,
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, and just as always, I just want to outline that the application was circulated as required by the Planning Act, but we did receive one comment from the adjacent neighbor, Deborah Roulette. She is
Okay.
concerned that the variances, if granted, has the potential to be used as a rental opportunity by future owners.
mm,
I just kind of want to outline for the committee, the bylaw states that cabins can't be used for separate rental opportunities, so that wouldn't be permitted by law anyways, so.
yeah, and
It is-
that's nowhere near in our intentions, guys. Just absolutely not.
We're not worried about
strictly
you. We're worried
for-
about the next guy that comes along.
Sorry?
We're not worried about you. We're just worried about if you sell that property as a wide open smash again, so.
For sure. I'll, yeah, well, there was no plan. I had the other place for 3 years. I'm entering into retirement, so I'm hoping to have this one for at least 23 years.
Yes. Go ahead, Jeff.
And just for the committee again, there is 5 conditions being proposed, and I could read those out for the committee and the applicant today, and then you guys can discuss them whether.
I'll read them out
Think
and we'll
about
yeah, find out if there's any problem with them.
Yep, so I'm just gonna read them now. So the recommended conditions, number 1, the variance applies to an oversized private cabin as generally shown on the property sketch dated July 21st, 2023. Any encroachment beyond the variances granted today will require a further application for a minor variance. Condition number 2 basically states that the county shoreline tree preservation bylaw applies. It recommends further additional native shoreline planting. Condition number 3, during construction, proper site preparation and construction methods are to be used to prevent sedimentation of the adjacent lake. Sediment fencing should be installed down gradient from the construction site, and the site should be properly stabilized immediately following construction to prevent erosion and sedimentation of the lake. Condition number 4, prior to the pouring of the footings, the applicants must remove the original dwelling built in 1955, which I believe has already been done. And the last condition proposed says by July 1st, 2024, the owner shall repair the shoreline vegetation buffer to a natural state using native vegetation to the required buffer width of 20 meters, which is measured from the high water mark. Is
Okay.
there any questions or comments about those proposed?
Yeah, we had
conditions?
number 5. Let me just read it one more time here in my head. Number 5 was, yeah, I'd like to look at that for a minute and see if we can do something with that. Seems like it's not needed to me. I've been down there, looked at it. I was actually down there again this morning and looked at it. What's your thoughts on that, Rick? Like, I mean, what you got there looks great. So I don't think-
Exactly. There's no plans to extend down to the waterfront, and I believe we're at least, we've got that 20 meters covered from the shore back to where the old place was, and our place is, that we're moving further away from the property line so we don't offend the neighbors and backing it up a bit. I don't see a problem with that whatsoever. There's no plans to put anything out there except, like I said, the bunkie and a walkway over to the house.
Okay, Jeff, we had some,
Yeah, well, and so the basis of that condition is just based on section 5.2 of the zoning bylaw, which requires a shoreline vegetation buffer width to the full depth of the water setback, but as was mentioned, that came into effect in 2011, and I think you said this property was developed prior to that, so.
I believe,
It's quite-
John, 2000 was when it was built, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No monkey in the 40.
Okay.
40.
55, built 55. 50, built
Oh,
55.
yeah.
So yeah, it was suggested.
Yeah.
possibly that vegetation might have legal non-compliant status with that section of the zoning bylaw, so.
Yeah.
It's up to the committee how they want to proceed with that. That's, the condition was recommended based on the provisions of the zoning bylaw, but you can just direct us what you want us to do with that.
Well,
condition.
if, you know, if we could get Rick to, so I don't know how we go about it. If he signs something, maintains exactly what is there. Which I don't think, Rick, you'd have any problem with, right?
No, none whatsoever. I'd be happy to sign that as soon as I get back next week.
Well, that's all we would require. wouldn't it? Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, and if I may through you, Chair, so condition number 2 actually says. Furthermore, additional native shoreline planting is encouraged to screen the buildings, naturalize the shoreline and address environmental concerns. So I don't know if that satisfies the committee as opposed to kind of the hardline stance in condition number 5.
So then we just basically would get rid of condition number 5. You're thinking?
If there's consensus amongst.
I'm okay with that. I mean, so number
Sure.
2 says furthermore, additional native vegetation is encouraged. Well, that's fine. Or you just kind of let nature take over, keep doing what it's doing. And, yeah,
Well, I don't think that I've been on this committee a long time. I don't recall making the 20 some meters responsibility. Like we pass all kinds of them that aren't in that category.
Yeah.
This gentleman here, I think we can take him at his word.
so,
Yeah.
so basically we're saying, let's get rid of number 5,
Yeah.
right?
Agree.
His biggest problem is he's got Mr. Parrish representing him here.
And
Come
Shane
on.
building it, so you got a lot more than us.
Would someone make a motion,
Adam's
then
been
we'll
great.
carry on.
Adam's been great. And I've known John for 20 years. I said, can you go tell him I'm not missing it on purpose? It was just, this was a planned holiday with my wife for sure. And I apologize.
So I guess basically
What's your thoughts on?
so we got to get back to the
square-
size
the
thing.
square foot on the size?
I'm,
The head of the committee had 592 before.
Very seldom.
But it had-
John,
It-
can you just
it had-
turn-
Yeah.
John,
turn
can
your
you
mic on there. You-
Has the committee passed the square footage 592 before? Yeah. It's not written in stone. Yeah. Yeah. It's probably the biggest lot on cash right now. It's 5 acres, over 5 acres, yeah.
I don't, Chris, we,
Well, I know it's kind of, it's minor details here, just, I always talk about, what is the next person gonna ask for? That's, the rules have been set, at 484. I'm saying as a, to give something, minor in nature to allow it to go to 550. It's only, less than 50 square feet, less than you want. Is that gonna work for you? Is that?
what's your thoughts there, Rick? You think, can you live with the 550?
I can. I was really hoping to get the little extra and, make the bathroom big enough that I could turn around in as I get bigger. But it would definitely make it easier for us, from our present layout, we're trying to establish the bedrooms and everything else. That's like on that 550, gentlemen, I'm brand new to this. Is there a minimum lot size or a minimum square footage or something like that to get something like that allowed? Like, is this brand new to me? And Adam's been great at answering my questions. I do apologize for being a pain.
Well, say 484 is what is allowed now. And
Go ahead, Jeff. Yeah.
Well, Chris is right. I was just gonna say the bylaw doesn't relate to lot size, so it's a standard 45 square meters. No matter what size the lot is across the board.
Oh, Lord.
All right, let's go. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna say, let's go 3 or 5, sorry. You wanted 595, let's go 570. Split the difference with you there, Rick. That's what I'm gonna,
I'll work with that, guys, for sure. If you can go there, I'd really appreciate it.
I agree.
okay,
I'm okay with that.
okay,
Okay. I know it's minor details.
yeah,
I agree too.
yeah, let's carry on. Yeah.
Thank you.
70.
570,
Square meters, how many square feet that?
or that,
I
it
don't
is
care,
feet.
just leaving meters. Oh, 53 square meters.
570 square feet.
53 square meters, you said, Jeff?
Square meters,
53.
53. Okay, so moved and seconded, the committee's decision with respect to file D13.
Turn your mic on.
Oh, sorry, I guess you weren't listening to anything I said. It's being resolved has been moved and seconded that the committee's decision with respect to file D13 MV 2023-18 be recorded as follows. A variance to section 3.1 to permit the maximum gross floor area of a private cabin to be 53 square meters or 570 square feet, which exceeds the permitted maximum gross floor area of 45 square meters or 484 square feet. Carried. Please indicate your support. So it's moved by Barry. Seconded by Chris Bishop. So you're good to go with that, and we'll be down for the opening.
Right. Oh, I guarantee it'll be a beaut. Shane's already.
All right, we don't mind
told me
sitting
it's been
outside.
No, for sure. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I really appreciate this. And we'll start working on drawings and start working on submittals.
Well,
Well, it's been our
Good luck.
pleasure to deal with you. We'd be better apprised next time if you pick your friends a little better, but that's okay.
At my age, I'm just glad to have friends.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. John, Adam, you guys.
yep.
What did he say?
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody. We come pretty close. So we got, is this guy still in Ireland?
No, that guy was.
Oh, I said, he was in Ireland.
He was in Ireland, yeah.
Oh, we could have been a little harder on him there. It'd be a long time getting home. Okay, so next we got to deal with the Turners, Craig and Victoria Turner.
Oh,
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Can you see us? Are we too dark now?
Oh, you're good.
Oh, you're in good shape. Can you just give us a quick synopsis of what it is you're proposing, and then I'm sure that will generate some discussion.
Sure. So thanks again, guys, for hearing us. And Adam, thanks for all your help too. You guys run a great ship up there. So our story is this. So we bought a lot on Kinesis in 05. We built our cottage in 07. And we have no other buildings. We had no other buildings on our property. So no garage and no storage or anything like that. So we got a permit in 22 to build a storage and a workshop. And we built it. So it's built. The building we're speaking of is there. I think you guys know that. You've seen pictures of it. So it was built according to the permit and all the drawings. And as you can see from the pictures, it's really close to our cottage. The only place on our property to put it is just outside our front door and just outside our kitchen and our screened-in porch. So we built it to match the cottage. So it has the same siding or as close as we could match. Our roof caved, screwed up on our cottage, didn't last as long as we'd hoped. So we have matched the roofs. And we were doing a few upgrades in the cottage in terms of the windows. And we were putting some windows without mullions on the main area. So we wanted to repurpose instead of pitching out those windows, we put them in the cabin. We're still in the purpose of, or in the process of that transition, because there's been some breakage and some supply stuff, but that's so all that's what we sent in, and that's what we built. In, I guess it was the end of June, when we thought maybe we would get final occupancy, the building permit was revoked, and we were asked to make this application. And when that happened, we kind of rethought, we want to work with you guys, and we thought, you know, maybe a private cabin is actually a good idea. We have kids, and we now have 2 granddaughters that are 21 months old and another kid on the way. And we thought, Craig is a retired teacher. He's just about finished writing his first book. We also thought it would be a helpful, great thing to have is some space for us to be able to, frankly, just like Rick said, go when our kids are up, because it's wild. And for Craig to be writing and to use part of it as a workshop storage, because we still don't have any of that. So that's what we're really asking to do. It's built, and the windows are in, it's built. We're asking to increase the size of the part that will be the private cabin. We've asked for 590. What we actually need is 584. Exactly. And I think you guys with the report, you know, the Kinesis is not at capacity. Our neighbors, we're at the end of Wilkinson Road where it becomes a private road. And there's only 4 neighbors and we all know each other very well. We're all friends. We all help each other. Nobody has any concerns about any of this, because frankly, it's the allocation of inside space. It doesn't impact them. And they said, you guys, looks great. You can't really see it from the water at all. And you can't really see it from the road unless you're almost at the end of the road, and only a little bit in the summer, because it's pretty well, it's quiet, it's pretty, it's unobtrusive, and it's well set back from the road. So we're sort of feeling like, you know, I think the concern was that it could be rented out, and that's, it can't have a kitchen. It can't be a livable space in terms of a separate dwelling. And it's so close to our cottage, you have to walk over our lot, go down our stairs, and use our dock. It's not at all set up, even by somebody else, to ever use it as a separate building. And guys, this has become our sole place. We spend now all summer there. We spend tons of time. We've planned, we're going to leave this to our kids and our grandchildren. That's what we plan to do. This isn't going anywhere, this cottage. We have absolutely no intention. And the reason we're seeking the amount of space, what we're seeking, is because it's built. And the ceiling in what will be the workshop part, because I think you guys can see the sketch, is flat. The ceiling in the other part is a little bit cathedralized. And the way the windows are set up already, and it's all built, we actually need the 484 for it to work. 584, sorry, for it to work. We'd asked for a little bit more. We were actually recommended to ask for a bit more, just in case I guess our measurements weren't exactly right. But that's kind of what we need, and that's why. And we don't think we think that we comply with the philosophy of things, and we think it will really help us, just a bit like Rick, like use our property, continue to use our property in a way that we love. And we couldn't be doing very much, like less than 44, just kind of the way, without rebuilding the property, which frankly we couldn't possibly manage. I guess the other piece to tell you guys is we already have a septic approval. And to do that, we've decommissioned our cottage. So our cottage is now 2 bedrooms. And what we're really doing is just spreading sleeping from the cottage to the cabin. So we have now a bedroom. We're going to have a bedroom in the cottage. And of course, not a kitchen, just a little bar sink and a way to have a coffee in the morning, and a little, what do you call those fridges, bar fridge thing, and a bathroom. So I don't think it's at all a feasible thing to consider this would be more than a cabin for extra sleeping. So that's sort of our story. What else would you guys like to know?
You did a very fine job. Do we have any questions?
Well, you were listening to the previous application.
Yeah, we were. We were.
So,
Yep, we heard him.
yeah, so. So my thought is, you've heard what my thoughts are for the previous application. And my thoughts are similar to this one. We allowed the previous person to go a little bit over what we had thought and went to 570 square feet. I guess if we didn't allow you at least that, we wouldn't be being fair. Is there any way you can make your addition at 570 square feet instead of 584? I guess that's the first question.
You know what, guys? We've really looked at this. There isn't. The way that you guys have the pictures there. I don't know if you have any inside pictures, but
No.
it's really not what the plan now is. And we've had sort of electricians and tradespeople up and trying to figure out what to do with it to do this. And the suggestions are like that the bathroom would be at the back sort of, and anyway, where we would put that in, if we were to be less, a wall would run into a window. Like it really, or would look totally weird because the wall might be, really butted up against a window on one side. We're trying to still have it aesthetically look okay inside. So really, we're talking 14 feet. I thought you gave him 575, didn't you? No, 570?
570.
Okay, I misheard. So we're talking, we need 484 and so we're talking, I think it would be different if we were building it and could design it from the beginning. But we built this according to what we thought we could build, and it's there.
And you could build that for what your purposes were. Sorry to interrupt you there, but now you want to change the use of it. That's where the problem is coming in.
Well, we were asked to do that. Our building permit was revoked and you said you sort of have to do this. So we're actually not sorry. We think, well, actually, this is a good idea, it turned out, but we did build according to what we were permitted to do with all the windows and stuff. I think the challenge, yes, go ahead.
The original purpose of the building to have it as a dwelling and living space. Talk like you said it was going to be storage and garage.
Why was the building permit revoked?
The building permit was revoked because I think that the inspector, Carl, felt that when he looked at the windows and the design, it didn't feel to him like it was a workshop storage. But we built exactly according to the permit we were granted.
So now we are changing the
The use.
Yeah,
use.
yeah, yes, we are. And
That's where
Right.
the problem is.
Yeah.
yeah. So the challenge for us guys is that we're talking 14 feet. And the challenge for us is it's there. It's been as you guys know, it took us quite frankly years to get someone to be able to build. Halliburton's it's hard to find trades and good folks, and we did. And it's been built. We're not designing it from the beginning. And so for us to try to work with, if you could grant it for us, it would allow us to work with the building that's there. The way the walls are, the way the windows are, the way the siding's all up, the roof's on. Like it's really what we're speaking of is that would permit us to simply go ahead and finish the interior without, I'm not sure how we've gone up there quite a bit and tried to say, could we work with less? And the wall's there that divides the two sides. And that's why we've asked for the amount we're asking for. And the way the windows are, I don't think we could change the windows, guys. It would be outrageously expensive. We need new siding and all of that stuff.
And we don't have any pictures of the inside of the building, so we can't make judgment call on any of that.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see I'm just gonna pull up the thing here. So you can sort of see the way the windows are laid out if you just look at the front of it.
Yeah.
And if you,
If you look at the drawings, you can see Ben DiCarlo's drawings. You can see two walls, one which separates the workshop from the rest of the building, and then on that bump out at the other end, there's another wall there.
and right now, guys, like if you look at the pictures, if you look at the front, picture of the front, the wall right now between the two sections is, there's two windows at the front that have 3 panels each, is right in the middle of those two windows. And anything that's partial puts a wall that hits that middle,
That bank of
the bank
windows.
of windows that's to the, in the middle between the door and the one on the left.
Well, I think part of the problem is we have 2 cases here that are quite similar. And we beat the one guy up, and now you're asking us to go further on yours. I mean, so we're going to get a call back from the other guy. I don't quite understand that. We can live with 570 square feet. And it's going to be up to you to make it work.
And the problem, another problem too, is a little different situation because you've changed the usage.
Yes,
That's,
exactly.
it went from a workshop to a bunkie.
Which is your issue, not.
That's right.
Not our issue. It's everyone's issue, but you were the one
Yeah.
that changed the use of it, so.
Well, it's a bit tricky here, guys. We had our building permit revoked. So we were told by Carl to apply for a minor variance for a what do you call a private dwelling?
Well, when you apply for a minor variance, you don't necessarily always get what you want because.
understand.
first of all, we're
Totally-
restricting the bylaw
totally
to
understand
go-
that.
go along
Yeah.
with it.
We do get that,
We
guys.
get that, absolutely.
I think the issue here is that we're trying to understand and work with you guys. The challenge is if we were here without starting from scratch and haven't already built this and it's this far along, I think that I think is what distinguishes our 2 cases, is that our building is up and it's here. And it's the difference between 14 feet. I also noticed, I don't know what one it was, but I was kind of looking backwards at your minutes, and I see that there was one case where the private cabin was 792 square feet. So do you guys ever?
I don't think so.
No, I thought I read that, but
792 square feet. It certainly didn't appear in front of us.
okay. And it was a couple years ago, I think. So look, I guess. the
Years, so I don't remember one of those.
Okay, I couldn't find it quickly because it's, yeah. So I guess the question, guys, is that I think what's different in our cases, in their case, you know, their lake was at capacity, ours isn't. They had a neighbor who objected, we don't. Ours is built unobtrusive, it's not, we're at the end of a road. I guess the 14 feet would permit us to comply with what's been asked of us, which is do this. And we so get, guys, that just because you ask, you don't get, understand that. But we are asking because for us to try to work with 570 would mean, I don't actually know quite how we would do that. And yeah, we probably couldn't, we don't know how to do that. From a design perspective, from how where we would stick a wall that would make any sense.
Have you actually talked to Ben? Have you went back to Ben?
We're going to go back to Ben. No, we haven't. We will have to go back to Ben as soon as we know what we're doing. He has to redo the plans, but we ourselves, we basically designed this originally and asked Ben to draw it up. But when we've looked at it, if you put a wall in that was less than the 5'8", like what we want to do, if the wall's up and the ceiling's partially flat and partially from a design perspective, it means quite a lot of expense and rejigging and not looking very good. And I'm not sure, so I understand you're concerned from a precedent perspective. And I get that our case needs to distinguish itself if you went to 570 with the guy before. And what
I
we're
think
asking for is to
Just
go.
to
to court against
stop
them.
you right there for a second. I think my feeling, I'm not sure it's good. It's not so much the size of it and everything. It is the fact that it's changed. You guys have changed the usage. And that's what's catching me up a little bit here, is that in midstream, you went from a storage to a cabin. Is that correct? Like, you applied your building permit, original building permit was for storage, right?
Storage workshop, yeah.
Storage workshop.
Yes.
So when you've changed that usage, that's why the permit was revoked. So that just changed.
Sorry,
Sorry.
actually, the building inspector, when he, in the email we received with the revocation, he said, apply for a minor variance, get septic approval.
And a new permit.
A new permit. He was concerned about the cathedralized, the scissor trusses.
And the windows.
So we have just been trying to comply with the building inspector's advice to this is how to move on. So so we're really trying to move on.
And I think what happened, just to be clear though, we didn't change it. Now we want to change it. Okay, but so what happened is we fully expected, frankly, we're new to this too, guys. We don't know how all this works. So we fully expected that we were just carrying on. And when it was revoked, he said to us, you should do this. And we said, we thought about it. We were a bit taken aback at first, to be honest. And I think what happened practically is that he didn't understand why the windows were the way they were and all of that. On reflection, we said, actually, let's do this then. This may make more sense for us. So we have complied. We didn't switch the usage first. We built what we were permitted to build. And then when at final occupancy, it was revoked. So we're here working with this group to do what we've been asked to do and now would like to do. This makes more sense actually as a usage as we started this years ago. This idea, it took forever to get someone and then the land was cleared a while ago. Now we think this makes sense. But the challenge is the building is there. Yeah.
Great. One quick question there. The space that you've marked on the diagram now in printing, what says private cabin. What was the original intent for that space?
Sorry, I'm just trying to.
The space that you want to convert now to the 590 square foot that you want.
Sorry,
What was its original use going to be?
So this was going to be a studio. I also paint. So it was going to be a studio and basically storage in a writing room. We have absolutely no storage space in the cottage, in the main cottage. And so we were looking for a space where I could go. We weren't at all thinking about bathrooms, anything like that. So it was just a place I could.
And a workshop, right?
A workshop and a place to go and paint and write.
Okay, well, say the walls were there. That was just a question. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's also probably some structural reasons why they're there.
Can you guys see? I don't know what you're looking at, guys. So I am looking at those plans. And it is possible here to see sort of where the walls fall with respect to the windows and stuff. So, can you see it, you guys?
Could we defer? And
We're at a bit of a problem here, but I think what we're going to do is defer this application and we'll visit your property and look at the building and decide what we're going to do. But we're in a tough spot too. And we're prepared to go and do that. And so that would mean that it'll have to come up at the next meeting. You don't have to pay any more money or anything else, but we'll do the site visit and just see if there's anything else we can do for you.
So guys,
I might also suggest that you have your builder come in and maybe he can tell them what the issue is and see if he can come up with a refigure.
Yeah, and talk to Ben, your designer,
See if there's something that,
Yeah, if you can check it out in the meantime, and we will appear there before the next meeting.
so guys, okay, just 1 second. So, what I just want to understand where you're at. You're saying you would grant us 570 and the issue is, would you grant 584? Is that where we're at?
Yep. You're asking 584 and we're saying that to be fair to the rest of the world, we can only go so far. And so we're willing to come and look at it. You talk to your builder and see what he can make work.
for 5.
And it won't cost you any more money, but it will reappear at the next meeting.
So I
or
guess,
you can accept the 570 this meeting.
If you want to do this 570, we'll pass it right now.
frankly, we would, okay, here's, we're just trying to sort this out, guys. We, you guys probably know this, it's tough to get people to, tradespeople, and we found some great ones. And if we wait, is the next one sometime in October? Is that when it is?
It'll be next month, yeah.
About a month from now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the challenges is just then you get into winter builds and it's hard to,
Well, it's there now. It's there now, so.
yeah.
But
Drag on for a bit
Mhm.
longer. That's.
Yeah. All right.
So we would love to take the 570 and be done with it, but honestly don't know how to do it. So is it possible? Could we do something in the middle of that? Can you guys do something? And maybe we, like, is there some, because I realize this is a little bit of figuring something out. And I know that like, do you guys, I'd love to understand something. Do you ever permit up to, 590, which was our ask? Do you ever permit that? And under what circumstances do you?
No. The problem with these extra cabins is that they always turn out to be something different than what they're originally proposed for. And I'm sure you're telling us the God's gospel truth, and we're willing to accept that. But if we don't, if you want us to give you more, we have to see the property and we have to see what you're doing. Basically, that's what it is.
Okay, is it possible to meet some of you so we could walk you through it? We could see it and hear your,
You'll be at the meeting. We'll welcome you at the meeting, yeah.
like, I mean, at our place, like to see it.
Yes, of
Mhm.
course.
Mhm.
See,
You don't have to come out. We'll come out there.
no,
No,
we'll
I
meet
mean,
you there.
meet you there at the cottage.
Because we're back in Toronto now. We were there in the summer, but we could come up and meet you guys there. Would that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. And if we, does that make sense then to do?
yeah, I'm still, so is it a design issue for you? You're willing to give us the 570. The 584 obviously you think exceeds.
Or is it?
And so we are talking about 14 square feet. Are you coming up to see how we may be able to get that 14 square feet down to 570?
Correct. That's part of we just want to see the overall situation, see it firsthand, that's all.
Okay.
So,
And yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
so, like we do have we have an electrician and we have a plumber set up. And again, this is going to take us, we're really hoping we can keep these guys. Is there any way we can kind of start what we initially intended to do? And if it is 570, we'll work around it somehow.
We need a building permit, and I guess we need to know, do we need to know exactly what the plans are to get that?
Yeah, and just for the committee, if I may, so at this point, the building permit has been revoked. So if you wanted to continue working, I would have discussions with the building department. Any development or any construction would have to be in accordance with that building permit, which would have to comply with the zoning bylaw. So what's being proposed right now doesn't comply with the zoning bylaw, which is why you're before us. So to continue working, you would have to propose something and obtain a building permit that complied with the zoning bylaw.
But which we can't do till this is resolved, right?
Correct. If you want to go above and beyond the bylaw.
And then after it's heard, there's a 3-week or whatever it is, there's an appeal period, isn't there, 20 days?
20 days, Bill.
So we're now
That
getting
takes
into,
in November.
If we pass it today at 570, you have the right to appeal it. Like, I don't know how long that'll take, but you have the right of appeal.
Well, that's,
so setting that aside, we're just trying to figure out timing. So if we come back in October, then even whatever happens, we couldn't get so I don't think we can, I think to answer Craig's question, guys, we can't proceed. It's been on hold since the beginning of the summer. We lost all the tradespeople we had then because they all are busy. We found other guys now. We had hoped to tell them today, okay, we can move forward. Now it looks like we're saying if we come back in October and then we have 20 days, we're now talking sort of November to apply for a building permit. So this is on hold for another few months. And part of this is to dig before it gets too cold. So this is some of our deliberations here because you need to.
So I'm a little bit confused here. What would you be digging then? That's what?
we're trenching, so we're going to, we're not talking about any different, the same number of bedrooms, the same septic. So it's about trenching to connect the utilities to the cabin.
Yeah. It's connecting our septic system to this.
And again, it was Carl who said,
So Jeff, I'm not sure, you're talking. If the building permit is revoked, is the septic permit also revoked at the same time, or they can carry on with the septic? I think they could likely carry on.
we have the septic approval. Carl gave us the septic approval 2 weeks ago.
So I'm just gonna ask Jeff, my understanding is that you could carry on with the septic system because you design what size did you design? Now, the septic system is only for the cabin, right?
No,
Or for
our septic system is going to stay as is. We are connecting it by digging a trench.
From the cottage to the cabin.
So your existing septic system then is fine to accommodate this cabin? Is that what's going on?
Yes, that's what we've had. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah, we've complied with their requirements to do that.
At Carl's suggestion.
To see if you can go forward with any septic work under the septic permit. I would talk to the building department about what you're able to do there. I don't know the answer, whether they can continue that without a building permit or.
Oh, yeah, that's what I don't want to be held, I don't want to say that for sure either, but I would assume that you could carry on with your septic permit because nothing's gonna change there. It's 2 different permits, I believe. But if that's all you're worried about is the trenching, I think you could likely carry on and go ahead and do that. And that as long as your septic system is approved, which you're saying it is for both units. Anyway, I think that
it is approved. Yep, it is approved. I guess our other worry, guys, and look, I appreciate, it sounds to us that what the worry here is between 570 and 584 is precedent, is it? Is that your worry, you guys, that you're kind of creating a?
Well, we just keep, everybody keeps pushing the boundaries and we just can't keep letting people do that. There are rules and regulations. And we're here as a committee to look at minor alterations to what the plans are. And So we're trying to be as fair as we can, and I know 14 feet may not seem insignificant to you, but we just had a previous client who we made conform to that same number, so we'd have to have some parameters that we deal with on a daily basis that gives us some legitimacy.
And I guess, I
Be
guess,
fair, that he sort of come before he did anything, and you guys are sort of coming after the fact. And so that does make a little difference. And,
can you help me understand that a little bit better?
well, again, I'm going back to this changing the usage, and like I said, he's like, the previous one was, he's came before any construction was done to get this. Well, now you guys are kind of coming along after the fact to change things a bit, which it's okay, and we're willing to do that. But I think we need to stay with the 570. Unless you want us to come out and have a look, like you said, it boils down to either we'll come and have a look. Or you accept 570 right now. So we're just kind of kicking the can around here right now, but that's basically the way it's gonna go. Yeah, it's up to you guys now, really.
No, I don't know how to do it. Can we have a minute, guys? Can we have a minute to talk about it?
Sure.
Yep.
So if we can turn our video off and just try to, what's your timing here, you guys? Because
We'll
It's-
give you, how about we give them 5, what is it, 5? I don't know what time it is. How about we get you, give you around noon or something like that, okay?
well, it's, I've got like 2 minutes to noon. So
Okay,
can you
no,
give,
we'll give you, how about 5 minutes? Is that okay? Is that
Yeah,
enough?
that's
We
great.
don't, we
Thank
don't
you for
wanna,
that.
we know it's a big decision, so we're able to hang on here a bit. I'm not gonna starve to death here over 2 or 3 minutes, so, yeah,
Okay, thank you very much.
okay.
We were counting on you taking us out to lunch. How do you like her so far?
Hello? Hello?
Hello. Okay, you're back.
So hi, guys. So again, neither of us are draftspeople. We looked at our plan here and the building is 16 feet deep. So
Why?
well, whatever you want to call it, it's a rectangle. So width or depth, whatever you call it. You're asking what the ask would be to move the wall that exists between the workshop and the cabin
1
over
foot
a foot.
and 16 feet wide. That would give us the 14 square feet, correct?
That would do that. What the challenge we're facing is, it would mean that the windows that are there are now from the interior offside, and there's a flat ceiling which butts up with the cathedral ceiling and moving a wall that already exists. So it's a bit tricky to get that foot. We don't see any other way to do it. That would be the only way to do it, is to move that over. And it kind of will be odd because the building bumps out. And so the long and short of it is we can't see an easy, a possible design thing that kind of isn't either going to look really odd or cost a ton or so, and we're really reluctant to wait. So is it possible to say that can you do this, you guys? Because I know you meet every month. Is it possible to say you grant 570? We do have to go back to Ben or somebody and try to see how we might do this. And we can't ourselves, we don't have the expertise to do it other than what we've just tried to do quickly. Is it possible to say that you grant it, but if we wish, you will hear this? Like, is it possible to say that we get a week or so to try to figure out if we can accept that? And if not, we will ask for your offer to come out and see it and put it on the next one. Is there any way to do that? Or does it just have to go over them if we don't accept it right now?
Yeah, unfortunately, probably the decision needs to be made today, whether to defer it or whether to set it at whatever value the committee decides. Once it's set at that value, if you wanted to seek a further variance, it would be a full new application process.
And we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, so there isn't the possibility of giving us a bit of time we have to decide now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, decide or defer, yes. No, say it's inside.
Sorry, what did you say?
I'm just saying from the outside of the building, you wouldn't know that you moved that wall.
No, it's not the outside we're fussed at all about, guys. It's, if you look at the plans, it's the inside.
Inside. Yeah.
It's the use and the way it would,
It really is about the windows.
and the ceiling. I don't know how you marry two. Again, we're not builders, guys. We don't know.
Yeah, we can't see it, so we can't.
We have a picture of it. Can we send it to you? We can send you the inside. You could see that. But the challenge we've got is you've got the picture there. If we could send it to Adam, the issue is, or maybe we can screen share it. I don't know. I'll send it to you, Adam. The issue is flat ceiling butting up against the other part of it and the wall in between. If you go to your photos. We look at them, the whole thing, just, sorry, you're gonna have to go quicker than that. Look at them all at once. Just trying to find it, so out of a bajillion pictures. But we do have a picture of this that if it's helpful to see it, you can see what we're struggling with. Because if we could say yes, we just say, great, we'll do it, great. It's the issue is we're not quite sure how you would do that without redoing so much.
Yeah, we either see it and we need to see it in person or
Do you have pictures?
Put them all. Can
I think your options are defer, we come for site visit, or you agree to the 570.
Yeah, and so if you've got a second, we'll find this pictures
your
might
phone?
help us.
Where's your phone?
I don't have it. Go downstairs on the desk.
And
Okay, let's
technically
just,
how you do it really is not our,
no, but I guess you'll see what what would you be coming out to see if not this? Just so we understand.
well, I think we just looking at a picture and seeing it in person is very different, and we've noticed that as we've gone, where people will send pictures of their lot, and then you get out there and it looks totally different. That's all we're saying is,
So you feel that seeing it,
we're seeing it, I don't know if that's gonna change anything, but, at least we could see it in person. That's all we're saying.
okay, so let me just see if I can find this now, because, hang on. Well, here we are. Okay. Craig, this is it. And let's just see if we've got the other part that turned backwards.
That's it. That's the. why
Here
don't we just do that?
maybe. Okay, I don't know. Right. Okay, I'm gonna send it to you, Adam. This is, yeah. This was at an earlier stage of construction, but you guys could would sort of get a sense of what we're trying to say. So Adam, I'm gonna email them to you now.
You know it. Then she starts all over, right?
Really appreciate your patience with this, guys.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I really do. Adam, let us know when you get them.
You get it? Hmm? There's lunches on me.
No, lunch will be on us.
That's right. Order it on us.
You don't have them yet?
No,
I haven't received them yet.
haven't got it.
Just send them.
Yeah, they take maybe a minute to go through the air from Toronto to you guys. Yeah, they're on their way, guys.
I just received them.
Okay, awesome. So they're not, the first picture is standing in the workshop section looking in to what will be the cabin. And the ceiling in the workshop section, you can see the like that door will go once it's built. This was to build. That's flat. So the ceiling is flat, and then the other part of it has this slight cathedralized part. So the challenge will be it's going 1 foot, moving the wall that you see there, that you're sort of looking through, 1 foot. And our challenge is how to do that without rebuilding the things quite a bit. But again, it isn't, of course, your issue to solve this for us. We're just saying that's what we would be talking about when we saw you, like how to do this in any way. Like, is
I
the
don't really think, I think that's easy. I'm not, I'm more on the septic end of things. Maybe you could tell earlier, but I don't think that would be that big a deal to reconfigure that wall to match up with the cathedral ceiling.
You mean, well, what we'd need to do is change the roof in that section that's now flat and become cathedral. So you're saying you could, no, sorry, let me think it through and it goes
Go the
up.
other way
A
around.
flat, the other way around. It's the other way around.
Yeah, it would go the other way
Other way
around. So
around.
they would
I see.
continue that wall up and they would, an 8 foot, and then they could take the wall right on up to the ceiling. I don't think it would be that big a deal.
Okay. So. Okay, is the aesthetics of this from the inside a factor? If we were to meet you guys, would the aesthetics of the inside and the fact that the windows will be off center and be a factor for you guys?
Not really, unfortunately.
So just so we know, because so we can make this decision, and let you guys have
Yeah.
lunch.
It really wouldn't be. Yeah.
What would be a consideration that would be something that you would say, hey, let us rethink this? What would you need to see or hear? Just so we know, because then we
To
can decide.
be totally honest and totally
Yeah.
honest with you, I don't
Yeah.
think there is anything.
I agree.
Okay. Okay, then. All right, then. Okay, then we'll take the 570 then.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Really appreciate your deliberation on this. This is, it's been
570.
No problem. That's,
a process.
we're here to try and work with people as best we can, and
Yeah,
hope you understand that we have restrictions on us too, right? So,
We
Yeah.
completely understand.
Okay,
Moved and seconded that the committee's decision with respect to file D 13 MV 2023-19 be recorded as follows. Variance to section 3.1 to permit the gross floor area of a private cabin to be 570 square feet, which exceeds the permitted gross floor area of 45 square meters or 484 square feet. Carried? Carried. Moved by Chris Bishop. This is said by Barry Boyd. Carried. Okay,
okay. Thanks,
thank
guys.
you.
thank you.
thank you.
Now, sorry, just before you go, so now we apply for a building permit, or do we have to wait the 20-day appeal process?
I'm not familiar with that rule. What is the rule?
If I may, yeah, through you, Chair, I would reach out to the building department and see what they're willing to do. There is a condition requiring you to get a building permit, which was law anyways, but reach out to them and see what they're willing to do within that 20-day appeal period.
Right, okay. Thanks very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Okay.
guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Moved by Chris and seconded by Barry. The meeting now be adjourned at 12:15. AM. That's PM. Well. That one we don't need, right?